Well, welcome to the lecture on endings. This is a kind of a very complex topic, probably would be more suited for a long 6-week type of workshop, but Chris and I talked about this and decided that might be able to get some solid basics in here for a lecture. And since we're doing a lecture called Starting and Restarting, at the same time, I figured it would be nice to do one called Ending and put them both up at the same time. So just one of those goofy things that kind of brought this on. Plus we had a couple people ask for this lecture. And so I'm going to do my best here to get through this. Why are endings so important on stuff? You've already got them to buy the book. You know, or your publisher has got them to buy the book. The ending is everything, though. I mean, it is what sells your next book. That's the cliche in publishing. It's absolutely accurate. Your opening, your cover, your blurb, and then your opening couple paragraphs or 500 words sell the book itself. Your ending sells the next book. And so that's really why it's so critically important to do endings well. You guys, if you hear funny noises in the background here, it's because Highway 101 on a Friday night here in late December is about 100 yards that way on the other side of some window, and it is very noisy out there at times for some reason tonight. I don't know why I'm picking Friday nights to do these, but it just turned out that way. Sorry about that. My apologies. If you hear funny noises kind of rumbling over the top of my talking here, I'll try to make sure I'm more than loud enough here. Okay, another thing about endings is it's what sells all of your other stuff. When a reader leaves a book and they feel good about a book, all of us, when we leave a book and we've just read it for pleasure, we've spent some money doing it, and we've kind of gone, oh, that was a good book. And you kind of feel that way. You kind of have a feeling of, that was a good book. Well, that's what it's all about. And there are tricks to endings. And there are some real things that you need to do with endings. And once you understand them, you'll have a lot better luck at making sure it won't feel so shot in the dark as all of us felt early on, you know, coming in, as it feels like, I don't know how to end this book. Well, I give you some helpful hints here as we go on. Actually, I'm calling them tricks. There are lots of tricks. One of the things that ending does is, of course, it wraps up the characters. And that's just logical. You want your characters all tied down and everything's okay. The biggest problem with endings is when those of us who we're reading along and the book is going good and we're suddenly looking at the thing going, there's not enough to finish this. There's not enough to finish this. And suddenly we turn the page and there's the author bio and a sample of the next book. And it's like, uh-oh, the author really screwed up the ending. Now, chances are we're not going to buy the next book if you did that. And we've all had those kind of books where we got to the end and turned the page and there was no more typing. And it didn't look like anything was left off the end, or they didn't print the last signature or something. It was just like, the author just flat didn't know how to end it. And so, there are these tricks I'm going to go over in this lecture, and some of the things you need to focus on in this lecture, about endings, will help you not ever have a book that does that to your readers. And therefore, they get done and they turn the page and they know it's over, and then they see your author bio, and then they see a sample of the next book, and then they're all happy. All that end matter that you put in to try to sell the next book. So that's a good thing. But boy, if you've got someone turning the page and there's no more pages to read, you have really messed up. So that's why this lecture about endings is here, is to help you not do that. And at some point down the road, we might do a workshop, full 6-week workshop on endings. It's difficult to do, but we might try it. So far, we haven't come up with a way that we like, so I've settled for this lecture first. Alrighty, on to the next video, and we're going to start digging down into some weeds here, and then get into some tricks of how to do this. Okay, so it's going to be pretty quick and fast here.